Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 4 o'clock live. We are here with Satch. Hey, Satch, how are you?
I'm fantastic.
You guys, we were just saying that we're going to do a bloopers reel for all of you. I know you all are very, very interested in that because it's like comedy, the last 20 minutes. It's probably 100 degrees in here. Well, at least to us.
Yeah.
It's like probably like 120.
I picked the wrong day to wear a turtleneck and, you know.
But you look amazing.
Thank you.
But we're both in here under these lights. We're in Santa Ana, California, and I don't know what happened because it's February and it's like 100 degrees outside.
It's gnarly right now.
So we're like sweating and fanning and doing all. Anyways, back to the show. Thank you for being here. This is long overdue, you guys. We wanted to have a conversation about relationships. Perfect time for Valentine's Day coming up here in a couple days. Yes, the outfit.
The outfit of love.
Perfect, the outfit. You are love.
Chef's kiss.
You really are love. Like, you've got that love energy just coming out of you. You got that vibe.
I try.
You try. You do well.
Thank you.
You do well.
Thank you.
So, let's get to it, you guys. So, relationships in recovery, right? Like, so different than a relationship in addiction. What would you say is the biggest challenge of being in a relationship in recovery versus when you were in your addiction?
Well, when I was in my addiction, it wasn't really a relationship. It was a situationship.
Situationship.
You know? It was like, what can I get from you? What am I going to have to do for you? You know, there ultimately wasn't, there wasn't a lot of love in a relationship when I was using, because ultimately selfishness and self-centeredness, like that was like my get down, because that was how you survived, was putting myself first in like the worst way. A relationship in recovery, depending on how far along you are, you've really given yourself the opportunity to grow, and see things differently, you know. I'm not going to sit here and say that I am the end all be all of relationships, because to be honest, I'm not. Definitely a work in progress. But you go into a relationship in recovery knowing everything that you're supposed to know about recovery, and I feel like that can be also a bonus and a hindrance. You know what I mean? If your mind is too involved, and like, you know that your mind is a dangerous place to be when it's fueled by like emotions that are dictated by thoughts and beliefs and like your core, you know? And so that, it was a little complicated.
Yeah,
even in recovery.
For sure. And a lot of people are codependent, you know? Like I found that I didn't realize I was codependent until I got into recovery. You know, it was like part of my addiction, and then I'm going, wow, like I'm codependent, and you're starting to learn these things about yourself sober, and then you're trying to date and be in a relationship. So what are your views on codependency and love and navigating through that in a relationship?
In my opinion, if you don't have a solid foundation that's based in like honesty, truth, and like self-preservation, it's going to be hard. Because then you're going to want to latch on to anything else that gives you a sense of purpose, makes you feel important, makes you feel valuable. And this is all personal experience.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot out of me when all I'm thinking about is like, is my lover okay? Or how are they doing? What do they think about this? When it's based in like me thinking about myself first, and making sure that I know my worth prior to jumping into a relationship, I can imagine it's much different. I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, it's totally different, because I've experienced it, because I haven't. I am a codependent in my relationships. I am a love and sex addict. There's a very deep-seated history with me in relationships and love, and falsifying things in areas where they shouldn't be falsified, thinking something is something that it isn't, and I've had to like deal with that.
So when you say you've had to deal with that, what does that look like for you? How do you work on those parts of your life?
That's a good question. What I've done I've tried to see my value and get to a point where I cannot argue my value. It's rough because there comes a time where my life is so enmeshed in somebody else that like I don't feel like it's the same without them. And then I have to like rewrite that narrative if something goes wrong. You know what I mean? And it just it's made I'm a strong person. I'm a strong personality. I am strong in my sobriety, and just growing through all the stuff that I've worked through. But nothing took me down faster and made me feel pretty small. Something that has to do with love always kind of grabs you.
And I love your honesty, because I feel most people feel that way. They're just embarrassed or shocked, whatever it is, right? That they don't want to talk about it, that it's makes them seem a certain way, whatever that is for that person. But I love how honest you are, because I feel like so many people struggle with that, and insecurities with love and surrounding codependency and sex and love and all that. And it's so important to talk about it, because so many people struggle through that, and then it snowballs into their mental health. It snowballs into potential relapses. I mean, you see so many people, and I guess, that's not guess, that is why they say if you're doing AA, not to get into a serious relationship for the first year, because you see it all the time. Like, people new in recovery,
they replace God with somebody who makes them feel a certain type of way.
Exactly.
I have seen people literally ignite their entire lives on fire over a relationship going south, and it's just, I felt sad. I've felt sad, but that was it. I am super grateful for having amazing friends that always are there to lift me up, and I'm grateful that while relationships might not last, I know that I always have friends who celebrate me, even behind my back.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that's so important to have that.
Absolutely.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So your support system, let's say you're going through a breakup, and you're really feeling it, and it's so heavy on your heart. What do? You mentioned your friends, the people that love you. What else do you do to overcome it?
Stay busy.
Okay.
My mom.
Aw. Bless your heart, Mom.
I reach out to my mom whenever something weird is going on, so that I can just hear that, hey, you got this, it's something that's wrong with them, and I can always count on her for that, to pick me up. Or for her to say, well, you were stupid, you shouldn't have done this, and I told you this, this, and this. I'm grateful for the constant ability that she has to be upfront and honest with me, which is where I think my honesty comes from. My mom showed me what love was. That was my first introduction to love, was being shown unconditional love by my mother, my family, my dad. It just, it came to mold me into what I am, because I don't feel comfortable if I'm not authentic.
Right.
I will always say what I'm feeling, say what I'm thinking, and but not always, because in relationships, I don't.
Isn't that funny though?
don't.
How we can be this way, right? In all these aspects of our life. And then when it comes to our relationship.
Oh, I won't say anything.
Right?
Oh my God.
What is that?
And they'll be like, I know something's bothering you. What's wrong?
Yeah.
Talk to me. Tell me. And I'm just like, nothing. No, nothing.
What do you think that is?
I'm not the type of, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person who can just be like, oh no, nothing's wrong. Like, my face changes, my attitude changes.
Obvious.
It is like, Helen Keller knows when I'm having a bad day. It's just like, there's no on or off switch. It's not like a veil.
Yeah.
People know.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here thinking, oh no, he totally thinks I'm fine. Everything's fine, you know?
So what do you think that is? Why do you think you can't just say it?
Because I want the other person to be happy. And I don't want to be the reason that they feel unhappy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the person who causes the friction. Even though by not speaking on it, it causes friction.
Absolutely. That's the codependency.
You know, the
That's
last guy I was with literally said, so you're really going to sit here and not talk about it, huh? He literally was like, so are we going to do this? Is that that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I wish I could record you. You know?
Yeah. And do you go back to it later, or is it just you just going to keep it to yourself?
I will go back to it after it's been a couple days and it's obvious that it's not a big deal.
Okay, so that's a great segue, because that's what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to throw some questions at you and have some fun here and get your feedback.
Okay.
So, because that's a big thing that I do in my life. If I'm getting into an argument with anybody, it doesn't even have to be the person I'm with. It could be my son or just in general, and it's a situation where I know I need to pause and not emotionally react, right? So I'll say, I'm going to give this 24 hours and come back to it. So you're in a fight, right? In a relationship, will you go to bed mad?
Yes.
And what does that look like? Like, will you do one last text and one last call and go to bed, or what does that look like to you?
No, it's like, oh man. Okay, what's a good example? Icing out. I will just see it, and that just shows that there's a lot of things that need to change.
Yeah.
You know, because like I know that that's not healthy.
Yeah.
Right. But I have literally gone days and not talked to the person over, you know, because in my mind I rationalize it by saying, oh, I'm going to wait until he's ready to talk. When he's ready to talk, he'll reach out to me. And he is incredibly stubborn. So he's like the same. So he's like, oh, I'm not going to say anything until he, and then we just go days until one of us is just like, you know, oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not going to say anything?
Right. When it's not a big deal anymore.
You know, yeah. And it's
so hard because communication is the most important thing in a relationship, yet it's so hard. And especially being in recovery, like we're learning everything new over again, right? And learning how to communicate with ourselves, learning how to love ourselves, and then trying to do that in a relationship. You know, it's so challenging. So if you meet somebody new, right? You've just met them. Will you text them right away at the end of the night, or are you gonna wait on that too?
It depends, because there are different levels of that. There's like level where it's like, okay, like I'm gonna text him as we're leaving, so like we can just start talking from there. Then there's like the second date that's like, okay, you know, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll text him tomorrow. And then there's like the third level that's just like, this was gross. And I'm glad that he gave me his number so I didn't have to give him mine.
Okay, next question. Will you say I love you first?
Depends. So like if we're friends prior where we've been saying it, it's easier. But like,
Of course. But
and I say that because I have been in a relationship with somebody who was
Yeah.
a friend, and it kind of evolved like that. My most recent one, he actually was the one to say it first. And then I like questioned him on it. I was like, oh, you did you? You said it first? I don't remember that. You know?
and did you say it back?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I did. I actually said, I know, in response, because I was just kind of shocked. I was like, I said, I know. And I froze for a second. I was like, I love you too. You know? And,
Aw.
you know.
What is the most romantic thing that you think someone can do for another person that doesn't involve money?
Oh, God. Oh. I did not know I was going to struggle with that so much. Sure. Without money,
Yeah.
the most romantic thing.
Something
Honestly,
meaningful.
okay, so what I loved to do was like go to like a lookout point and just hang out. If there's like a bench there, get some charcutes, you know, a little cheese
Charcutes.
platter,
Uh-huh.
and just talk about like getting to know each other on a personal level.
Yeah.
Like none of that surface stuff. Just
quality
like
time.
enjoying, letting the senses kind of take over. Beautiful scenery, hopefully beautiful smells, you know, but depending on where you are,
Yeah.
you know, but it just taking the time to really get to know somebody here or here, where's the heart here? And that's just, I mean, that's what I prefer to do. I'm the guy who likes long drives with no destination in mind. You know, we stop where we kind of vibe and then it goes from there. But I'm also a person who wants to go to Mastro's and spend $400. You know, I'm very...
You keep it interesting.
I keep it interesting,
Yeah.
but a majority of the time, it's just driving around, enjoying scenery. You know, even if we're just in the car the whole time, as long as there's good conversation and good music. And
Good music's a big one, yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did you learn the most about yourself in your last relationship?
I learned to meet people where they're at. Because that shows understanding, and that could solve a lot of problems right there that you're having within the relationship. But also not to sacrifice what I want. I feel like that's incredibly important because a lot of people give up a piece of themselves in order for someone else to stay around, and I don't know. I feel one of my love languages is gifts. So
That was going to be my next question.
I shower people
with gifts.
with gifts as like a way to show that I care. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable. But I was literally just giving myself. Because like, I guess in some way, shape, or form, there's a lack of contentment here. And so I just give so that people don't go. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's super tough to think about and hard to say, but it's the truth.
So knowing that, what do you think you'll do different next time? What will you
Listen,
work on?
I will work on having it be an equal partnership. I will work on celebrating every aspect of my partner. And I'll just learn to love me more. You know, because that's deflection. That is deflection.
Yeah.
Is me giving and like, here, I want you happy, all you. And then I wonder why I feel discarded and used up at the end of it when like I was the person who was doing that.
Yeah.
No one was asking me to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like the saying, they say that when you truly love yourself, then the person in your life is just an added bonus. And it's so...
That's beautiful.
It's so hard, but it's so true. And I feel like I've been on this journey finding myself through recovery the last few years and truly getting to a place where I like my own company and I like being by myself and happy with who I am and loving myself. And it's still hard in relationships, but I feel like, okay, now this is just a bonus because I'm happy and I'm okay in my own space. So do you feel that you have that balance in your life, that you're starting to get that and have the insight where you can see that you love yourself and have the balance?
A lot of people think that I am just this egotistical guy who has nothing but love for myself all the time. And a lot of that is more deflection. I feel like I'm on my way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and say I've got everything figured out because nobody does. Love and relationships take on very different forms, and And for a majority of my life, sex and love were one and the same. You know, a big part of my story is like escorting and sex working and having that be my value. And so I feel like coming into relationships and sobriety after so much time working on that side of things, I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. I didn't know what love looked like. I treated myself the way that other people treated me. You know, I treated others the way other people would treat me. You know what I mean? So showering with gifts. Tell me you love me, you know? And so it's been a very tough transition over the past few years because there were a lot of life lessons that had to come from that, and a lot of pain, and a lot of misunderstanding, and a lot of realizing that like I'd been lied to for years. How do you recover from that if you're not recovered?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
It's such a journey, and with keeping it PG for our viewers, but a lot of people say that, and me included, it was hard, you know, after you've been used to being sexualized and all these things in your addiction, then to have a healthy, intimate relationship in recovery.
That doesn't even know that side of things.
Yes, it's really hard. And so many people struggle with this and they don't want to talk about it. You know, it goes back to the thing where I love that you're honest, because people don't want to talk about that, but it's really tough to have a sober, intimate relationship after that. And how do you navigate that? And what do you do? And I know for me, it took a lot of work through therapy and being goes back to self, you know, being comfortable and happy with who I am, but I'm still a work in progress. Like, it is really tough to navigate through that. And I think becoming friends and loving that person for who they are first and foremost before getting intimate, I think that definitely helps. Is that easy for you to do, or is it still, you think about like what you're used to?
I want to be friends with him. I enjoy, there are a lot of parts of him that I enjoy, you know. He's hilarious. We could sit there and laugh about just random stuff forever. And I remember after we'd kind of like taken a break on things, when we met up the first time, I just remember laughing so much, and I hadn't laughed like that with him in a long time. You know, and who's to say that something is, you know, that people are incompatible. Something could change in the future, you know, where maybe that's what we want. But for now, I'd rather just have a friend.
And that's a whole other form of intimacy, to be able to laugh and have that emotion with somebody. You know, there's so many other forms of intimacy and just bonding with somebody. What would you say if I asked, well, I'm not going to say one of your exes, but someone that knows you on that level, what would they say your best qualities are in a relationship, dating you? What do they love about you? What is it that they're like, oh, Satch?
Oh God, I don't even know.
What is it? You know, come on.
I don't even know how to answer this without sounding like
just say it.
that guy, you know?
Your self-love, though. You can say good things about yourself.
Did I show up? Did I show up? Because that is so important to me. It doesn't matter if it's like this stupid little thing or this event that, like, you know, show up. That's what I do. I treat people the way I want to be treated 98% of the time. I don't know. I feel like that's a really tough question. I want to be like, oh, he's the best dresser and he knows everybody.
We already know
He
those
knows
things.
everybody at Mastro's and Farmhouse at Rogers. You know, I'm a good person.
Yes,
I'm
you are.
worthy of love. I'm lovable. You know, I love very easily. I forgive very easily, but I don't forget. You know,
Let everybody know. Not forget.
I don't. They shouldn't forget, because ultimately what we need to do is keep ourselves safe
Yes, we do.
at all costs, because at the end of the day, we're all we've got. So,
All right, a couple more questions for you. What do you think the honeymoon phase really means? Like, what is the deeper thing there that's going on? Because I have my theory, but why do you think there's a honeymoon phase and then it's
off to the problems.
yeah? What is that?
I almost feel like it's due to like your serotonin levels. I feel like you're like so elated and excited by this new thing that is fresh and unknown, and I feel like there's a lot of excitement there. What is it for? Was there a honeymoon phase with me? Yeah. And then as you start to know people on a deeper level, it's just a lot of figuring someone out. And then from there, common misunderstandings, text messages can be taken the wrong way. I mean, it's just, there's so many different levels to it. It's like, you know, when you asked if I had ever gone to bed, if I'll go to bed angry, the times I went to bed angry was because we were texting and not talking about stuff. And so we're both just like, oh, so, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll admit my flaws, for sure.
Yeah. And I think the honeymoon phase, a lot of people are fake. Let's be real. And not like maliciously or with any bad intention, but it's just, we put on this act. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I'm going to like look my best and act my best and not do this and do this. And then you get to know the person a little better. And then it's like, rah, the real person comes out. And it's just, that shows me that us as people need to work on that. You know what I mean? Like, we're just wasting people's time. Like, why not be your true authentic self from day one and not do that? It's not fair.
See, that's the thing, but a lot of people have trouble handling that.
I guess.
If I let my whole self out,
you're like, whoa.
People aren't prepared. You know what I mean?
Like, you're like, I gotta do this.
I'm like, okay, all right. So next Tuesday, I'm gonna throw out a little bit of Satch and see what they think.
Just give them a little sprinkle.
You know, it's all filter and then Satch. And then if they gravitate towards that, okay, we can play ball. You know, but if they're like, oh, okay, maybe I should explore my options elsewhere.
But you're right, and I think that's what people do. Absolutely. What do you love the most about love?
Wow, I almost just said a cuss word.
Good thing you didn't.
I almost just was like, whoa. I love that it's real. I love that I can see it in people walking down the street. It gives me hope. I love that it's unabashed and unapologetic, and that it doesn't really care how we feel about it. And I like that more and more people are getting to experience it who doubted its relevance or validity. And I look forward to experiencing it the way it should be experienced for me one day. And I'm not going to doubt it when it shows up. I'm just going to accept it.
What would you say to someone out there watching that's newly sober and that wants to be in a relationship?
Sit down and chill.
You heard it here, you guys.
Sit down and chill. Like there's so much time, and there are way bigger things to be focusing on than relationships when you're first getting sober.
Yeah. How long was it for you where you were in a relationship? Because I tried to be in relationships, right? Like right away. And I realized, like, holy smokes, I have no idea what I'm doing. How long did it take for you to get into a relationship where you felt somewhat normal in it?
Oh, wow. It probably took about 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was Cody. Because I had taken enough time for myself to really know what I wanted at that time. I felt normal with him. A lot of people didn't view our relationship as normal due to the circumstances of how it became. But it felt normal. And I was okay with that until the day he died. And then my world flipped upside down. But again, my friends and my family helped me walk when I couldn't stand through that. So
a different kind of love.
That's a different kind of love. You know, that's true love. You know?
Unconditional.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so last question. Valentine's Day is coming up. It's in a couple days. Any shout outs to anyone for Valentine's Day, or anything that you're doing that we want to know about, or where you're going to be, and we can come hang out? A lot of people are like, where's Satch going to be? We want to be there.
I don't really know what I'm doing on Valentine's Day. I don't have plans. I will definitely be at work. I opened a mental health outpatient program called Mending Minds Behavioral Health with some really special people. We opened in the middle of December, which was the worst time to do it. But now we're starting to see the brighter side of things, and we're getting to help a lot of people.
Amazing.
It's very special.
So primary mental health.
Primary mental health and network contracts. We've got HealthNet, TRICARE West, and Blue Shield of California will be very soon. So.
Amazing. And that's in Costa Mesa?
In Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa, you guys, in Orange County in California. A lot of people that are watching are from around here, I forget. They're like, wow, where is
that?
What's
Orange,
Costa
Florida?
Mesa? What? Yeah. Huh?
Florida!
And what levels of care do you provide there?
So we are doing outpatient for mental health, but there also is a substance abuse track through Safe and Sound Treatment. And then there's also Double Helix, which is a 6-bed, soon to be 12-bed detox, all under the Safe and Sound umbrella. So there's Double Helix, Safe and Sound Treatment, and Mending Minds.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. Instagram is all_Satches_fault, because I hear that a lot. I made it into something, and it's kind of blown up from there. Facebook, either Satch Selden or Safe and Sound Treatment. And yeah.
Websites?
Website is www.safesoundtreatment.com.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. I love you. Happy
I love
Valentine's
you so much.
Day.
Thank you.
We're going to do
Same to
this
you.
again. I'm going to get a list of questions, some really juicy ones.
Okay.
And we're going to do this. With
Well, we'll just do a 21 questions episode.
Ooh, that's perfect.
I love it.
That's perfect.
I love it.
All right, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Show your love to everyone around you. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll see you next Friday. Bye.